I'm going to give a few more minutes for people to join. Well, good morning, or afternoon, sorry, happy Monday. It's Miss Coggeshell here. I'm going to give them a few more minutes if anyone else wants to join us today.
Which I'm thinking she's almost ready. Oh, she's ready.
All right. Okay. Happy Monday. Today we have a pretty fun direct draw, and I was inspired by two artists. One is more famous than the other, but I'll tell you some funny stories about that in a minute. So we're going to focus on big eyes. So Margaret Keane is one of the more famous artists. She really popularized this style, and she's known for her children that she would paint and her cats with very large eyes. And this is a picture of her. Her artwork was very popular in the 60s and 70s, so almost every household had a Keane drawing. Here are some pictures of her children with large eyes. And if you notice, the word Keane, her last name, is at the very top of her artwork. And she normally showed or depicted children who looked a little sad, exaggerated eyes. She started painting when her daughter was born, and she wanted to capture how her daughter looked because when she was a child, she had the biggest blue eyes. So she was inspired by that, and she just kept painting. Then she met her husband, and her husband was an art dealer. That means he would sell paintings for other people. And he noticed that his wife, Margaret Keane's artwork was very popular. But he took the credit for all of the artwork. So whenever he brought the paintings to sell, he would often say that he painted them instead of his wife. And there's a movie that Tim Burton does. I think it came out in 2014, and it shows the history of the Keane family and how she finally got her voice back and was able to get credit for her work. Then here's some pictures of cats. She liked to paint cats with her children, and she likes to exaggerate the eyes even in the animals. And here's another picture with a cute little cat and her big-eyed children with a little turtle. And interesting enough, her artwork at first was being credited by her husband, but then later on, another artist who did something pretty similar with cats started. Keane got credit for his work, so that's confusing. Margaret Keane's husband took credit for her work, then later on she got the credit back. But then these pity kitties were becoming popular, and people just assumed they were Keane's. But they were actually another artist named Gerard Goodnow, or Gig for short. He would sign his artwork as Gig, and people thought this was Keane's artwork, but it was actually Gerard's. And if you notice, the cats are kind of the same expression with really large eyes, kind of sad, kind of pouting. And they're typically alley cats. So there's usually like trash cans or little pieces of tin can around them. Kind of looks like they could be in New York or a big city. And you can kind of see why people thought they were the same artist, but you can also tell that they're quite different. So that's one reason it's very important to sign your artwork, so people don't get confused on who gets credit for what. And here's another one of Gig's puppies. So he also did a series of Pity Puppies, but today we're going to do cats. And like I said, Margaret Keane started the whole fad or popularity of large expressionist eyes. So we can see this in dolls like YOLO dolls. We can see this with the new Beanie Baby collection. And those eyes are just so exaggerated. And that was kind of popularized by Keane herself. We also see this in cartoons where the eyes are so large they almost overlap because they're so close to each other. And this is a very common trait to show expression. So SpongeBob looks excited, the Minions look sad. And then I wanted to show this of baby Phineas and Ferb because their eyes as children are even larger than when they're older kids in the cartoon. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and we're going to get into our warm-up. So we should all have a warm-up sheet and a pencil. So here's some examples of what we're going to be doing today. Let me just move those. And we're going to do something a little different with our warm-up sheet. We are going to be folding it. So let's go ahead and grab our warm-up sheet, and we're going to fold it hamburger style. So this is hot dog. Let me get that. There we go. This is hot dog, but we are going to do hamburger. So go ahead and fold that. The reason we're folding is to show proportion. And proportion is the way we're going to lay out our cat, because we want our cat to be proportioned correctly. So now there should be a line. Hopefully you see a line. And you're just going to go ahead and grab these corners and bring them to the center line. And make a crease. And then you're going to grab the other side of your paper and you're going to fold to that center crease. So hopefully after you do this, you should have something that has 1, 2, 3, and 4 sections on your paper. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go ahead and label those.
Can you show that one more time?
Yeah, okay. So you'll have your paper and you're going to fold it hamburger style. And once you fold it hamburger style, you should have a crease in the middle. And then you're just going to fold the edges to the middle crease that you created. Kind of like you're making a pamphlet. And this is for a proportion because I want our cat to be proportionate. And this is just a warm-up, so we're not going to give our cat too much detail. So you should have something like this. My camera might be backwards. Let me fix that. Okay. So we have quadrant 1 or section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. And we're going to just practice drawing our cat. And our cat's face is going to be in that first quadrant. So we're going to draw the face in the first quadrant. It might kind of extend or go a little past to the second quadrant or section, but that's okay. So we want to leave room for ears, and we're going to do an oval. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so we can all see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to start my oval right about here because I want to give room for ears. So I'm not starting all the way at the tippy top. going down about an inch. And artists use their hands all the time to measure. So, in case you didn't know, if you fold your thumb, that is typically about an inch. And you're just going to do a large oval. Large oval. Doesn't have to be perfect, because this is our warm-up. And hopefully that's dark enough that you can all see. And today is an all direct draw, so you're going to be drawing with me unless I say put your pencils down and watch. But pretty much today you're going to be going ahead and drawing with me. And if we look at our examples, our cats have very tiny features and very large ears. They kind of look like kittens. So we need to go ahead, kind of drop down and make sort of like a rounded triangle down here, because that's going to be the jaw right here. That's where we're going to be drawing the cute little whiskers. Alright, after you have the head and the jaw, we need to do a very thin neck, and that neck's going to take that up that whole portion of number 2. So you're just going to go and make a long skinny neck. And that should be from the jaw to the very end of section 2. Because we want our cat to take up the whole entire page.
Hi, can you slow down? We got a little behind with the paper folding.
Okay, no worries. I can demonstrate how to do it one more time too if we need to. We're just gonna fold in the middle like a book or hamburger style. And then you open it up like a book and you fold each of those in towards that middle line you created. And we're doing this for proportion. Okay. After we have the neck, you notice that the cat's body kind of reminds me of like a bowling pin if you went bowling. And they're often off to the side or leaning on something. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to make ours straight up and down. We're going to make this bowling pin shape go all the way to quadrant 4, all the way down, almost to the very edge, the end of our paper. So our head is in quadrant 1, the nose and the whiskers will be right here starting in quadrant 2, the neck takes up all of quadrant 2, and then the body takes up the lower half of 3 and 4. And we're not going to do too much detail on our cat because it is just our warm-up. Now we have these hind legs, and he often shows, so Gig shows the cats with them sitting. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to start on quadrant 4, and we're going to make a semicircle, just a little half circle. So one on each side, and you can just think of them as like the letter C. One's backwards and one's front. Backwards C. And then we have to add their cute little feet. And so when we're going to add the feet, what we want to do is we're going to start here, And we're going to go all the way out to here. So maybe we could do 2 dots. And we're just going to go out with a line. Like so. And they have cute little toe beans. I guess that's what some people like to call them. And we're going to draw those as like little hills that kind of come off of our hind legs. So we're just going to do a little thing like that, and a little hill like that to our 2 dots. And they don't just have one toe, they have more than one. So we're going to go ahead and give them another toe. And then I like to give them one more kind of in the back, like this. And I like to curve that off. Yeah, I can try to make them darker. Even though I'm making the lines dark, the students should go ahead and try to make them as light as possible, because we will erase them all at the end, especially on our final cat. Okay, so now we have the bottom portion of our cat done, and it should look something like this. Everyone's head should be in the first quadrant. None of the heads should be starting in number 2 or 3, because they're very long cats. And we're going to go ahead and focus on the arms. And if you notice, the arms are very skinny, and sometimes they're kind of like clasped in front of them. But we're just going to go ahead and do one circle right here, and then a line like that. And hopefully that's dark enough. So this will be the hand that is raised up, and this will be the hand that's on the ground. And we need to draw our paw that's over here. And the way I like to draw my paws here is like a letter M, an M with an extra little hump. So you're just going to go 1, 2, and 3, and then you can round them off. We could do the same thing here. Go 1, 2, and 3, kind of like that. And for this, we're going to do a little arm thing like this, showing that it's up. Actually, I'm going to show it coming from the shoulder, because that's not correct. You're going to come from the shoulder and make a line like that. Sorry, guys. This is called foreshortening. It will show that the cat's arm is shorter because it is closer to you guys and further away. You can come up here and follow that line. And this line doesn't have to be as long. It can stop right around quadrant 3. Okay. After that, we're going to go up towards the face, and we're going to do the large eyes, who Margaret Keane made popular, and we see that everywhere now. Alright, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put a light line that goes all the way across the oval of the face. So go ahead and put a line across the oval of the face. The second line is going to be right here at the bottom of our oval, and that's where the nose is going to go. Oh, I see a question. You can type it or unmute yourself, whichever.
My students are struggling to see your lines.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe I should be using pen. Maybe that will show up because I'm going pretty dark. I wonder if the light would make it... No, that makes it worse. Alright, and we know that all of the facial expression and the mouth is really small, and that's going to be towards the bottom. So if we can see that the mouths are very tiny. And we're just going to start with adding a triangle, a tiny triangle. All these other lines we're doing will be erased in a little bit. And after we have our cute little triangle, what we need to do is give them where their whiskers would go. And we're going to do them pretty large, and they're going to kind of extend out like this. I kind of think of like drawing a mustache on our cat. And it comes up, and it almost makes a circle. Almost makes a circle. And these are pretty big. They kind of extend past the jaw. And we can even make that jaw a little longer too. So we can go ahead and make that jaw darker. And after we have that, it's kind of starting to look like the Pink Panther, we need to draw a sort of like a rainbow. So go ahead and draw a rainbow that goes across the forehead, because this is going to help us with the eyes. And our eyes are going to be very large. So once you have the mouth done, make this rainbow shape. And it's just a little bit above that middle line. And you're just going to go ahead and draw a big circle on both sides. And they're not quite touching, but they are touching this curve, and they are touching your cheeks. So your circle should touch the rainbow, or the curved line. It should also touch your cheeks. So that circle should be that big. After that, we're going to just outline, and we're going to follow that shape because our eyes aren't going to be perfectly round. They're kind of slanted down, and if the eyes are slanted down, they look more sad. And so that's why the artist chose not perfectly round eyes, but a slanted eye that kind of follow the shape of that rainbow we drew. And at this point, I'm going to erase this line as well as I can. And we need something called a highlight in the eye. We can erase the rainbow too. And basically you just make a circle that are both staring the same direction, and you're going to leave those white. when we color them in. Because the rest of this eye is going to be dark, but this is just our practice, so we kind of need to move a little faster, so we don't need to color those in. And then if we look at our ears, we need to have one that's pointy. So you're going to start here and here, and you're going to make your triangle ear sort of slanted down. So they're not very perky, they're kind of like slanted down. You can make one perky and then standing straight up, but the other one should be kind of maybe off to the side, because that's kind of the characteristic of the cats that our friend did. Okay. And you could make a line starting from here to here, which shows the inside of the ear and the outside. And you could do the same thing here. So this is the inside of the ear. And the last thing we're going to do is just add some fur, and then we're going to go straight into our cat drawing on our other piece of paper. So the way we could do that is we could just practice some zigzag lines. We're going to do some vertical zigzag lines. So let's just practice. And after you do a few zigzag lines, try to make the zigzags point down. Try to make vertical zigzags where the points kind of go downwards. Might get some taking use to, but just do as many as you can until you feel comfortable. And do some this way, so do some pointing to the left, do some that are pointing to the right, and that's going to help you make this fur. So what we're going to do is, after you warm up your hand with those zigzags, is you just come and you add these little triangles to both sides of the cat's face. You can add a little bit of hair on top. And you can just have the zigzags kind of go like this. And then the neck is going to have some zigzags, and those are pointing down. And that just goes around the whole body of your warm-up cat. So this is just for practice. So go ahead. Make those zigzags go all the way around the body to emulate fur. We're going to put some right here, kind of like in a star pattern, because that's going to be the white of the cat's stomach. You just go all the way down, do every part. You don't have to do the cat's feet. And these are alley cats, so that's why the fur kind of looks like that. Okay. So now we have our proportioned cat, and we are done with our warm-up. And we're going to go ahead and grab our sheet we're going to draw our cats on. I specified it was half a sheet, so I kind of just cut a normal sheet in half. If you have a larger one, that's okay. We can work with that today also. And we're still using our pencil, so say goodbye to our warm-up cat. And we just practice our fur. That's all we need to practice. You don't have to do the whole cat if you got the concept down. And we need to remember the same proportions. So we need to know that this is portion 1 with the head, 2, 3, and 4. And the way we're going to do that is, I want you to make a line that's a little less than an inch up here, and then a little bit of an inch down there. Because our cat is going to be in between these two lines. This is the edge of my paper, this is where I'm starting my cat, this is where I'm ending my cat, and this is where the paper ends. And if you remember, we have to do a large oval, and I'll make mine darker But you're going to make yours really light because you're going to erase it. So that's with the pressure of your hand. Okay, so you should have something that kind of looks like this. And we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of a triangle at the bottom, because that's where our cute little face is going to be. We're going to go ahead and add a long neck with shoulders. And we need to have that bowling pin shape come all the way down to that line we added. Like that. Now we need to do the back legs or the hind legs. And we're just going to start right about here. And put a dot like right here. And we're just going to have them come down to the bottom of our bowling pin, like that. I'm going to add a dot here, and a dot that extends almost to the very edge of my paper. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I don't mean to move so fast. I just did this one earlier and we didn't have enough time to color the cat in. So I want to make sure we have time to color the cat. And these dots are just kind of helping me plan where I'm putting my lines. They're all going to be erased later. These are for my feet. And then I'm just going to do a curve coming up for those toes. I'm going to do another one that curves down right here. And I'm starting right here at that same point. I'm just coming down. And I like to give my cat 3 toes. So I'm going to add one more right here. And I'm starting in that same point. I'm adding one more. And you can kind of round them out too if you want. Make them look more three-dimensional. Okay. And now we're going to do our other paws, and our other paws are going to come down here. And I'm just going to do 2 next to each other, sort of like this one. I think that's what I'm going to do this time. We tried this one the other time, but to save time, we're going to just go ahead and do the M with an extra little hump, and then we're going to do another one right next to it. I'll zoom in on that. All I did was M's, and we rounded them off. Like that. And if you want, you can kind of start erasing and cleaning that up. And we're going to have the first legs kind of start where that first toe is, and you're just going to come up and out. We're kind of going away from at an angle. And then we'll do one more, and that's going to stop right about there, right about there. So we're almost done with our cat. We do need to add a tail. So I'm going to start my tail here. And we are just going to go behind the cat. Oh, wrong direction. So I'm just going to go kind of make an S shape and then stop. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to continue all the way around like that. And then I could do the same thing. I'm just going to start about an inch. Remember, our thumb kind of shows an inch. All the way around. And we're just following that line like so. So now our tail is behind our cat. It almost looks like the tail is kind of waving at him. Okay, once you're done with the tail, we're going to go to the face. So I'm going to zoom in on the face. We got to do that cute little kitten face. So we're going to do the thing we did earlier where we just add a line that goes all the way across. We're going to put another line right here. That's where our nose is going to go. So I'm going to start with the nose. Just going to go ahead, give it a little triangle. I like to kind of like draw these little nostrils. I think they look kind of cute when they have like a little bit of that. And then you're going to come down and you're going to make that mustache. And we need to give that jaw back. And now we have all this, I like to call it the skeleton. You can go ahead and erase that. And clean that up in there. If you erase your nose, it's okay because you can go back over it with the marker or the crayon. And then we're just going to do that rainbow thing we did earlier. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to start that circle because we want those circles to be very large. Just going to go ahead and start touching the cheek, and it's touching the rainbow. I'll just pause here for a second so they can catch up. And I'll zoom out so they can see I don't know what part they're at. Once you draw those eyes, you can go ahead and erase that line. We're going to be doing a lot of erasing. Make sure you got a good eraser. And you're going to start outlining your eye right here. And you're just going to darken that, and you're going to copy that shape right here, making almost an almond kind of shaped eye. Because cats have cat eyes, and cat eyes are almond shaped. So they're not perfectly round circles. They have this almond shape. And just darken them up with your pencil. Like that. And we can give them our highlight. And don't worry, our cat's going to look cute when we add our little whiskers right here. So it's okay if the eyes are big. It will even out. Kind of looks like a raccoon right now, but it'll be a cat sooner or later. I'm going to put a dot here, and a dot here, and a dot here. And then I want this ear to be kind of flopped down, so I'm going to put it over here. So I'll make this one a little more pointy. I guess that dot went too far away. I'm not going to put 3 dots. Then this one is going to be a little more drooped down. And I like to start here at the tip of the ear after we do that, because we want the inside of the ear and we want the outside of the ear. So what we're going to do is you're just going to draw that line to touch the head, like that. And you can do the same thing on the other one. Or another way to do it is draw it from the inside of the ear down. It's up to you. Either way works. And I'm going to do some of this to remind me to draw some fur in their ear, because I think it looks cute when they do that. And I think we're ready for fur. We have this right here. We don't have to color in our pupils yet with pencil, because we're going to do that with our crayon or marker. And sometimes I kind of like to make a little bit of a triangle right here, because cats have like these little triangles in their corner of their eyes. That's up to you. And we could do 3 little dots too for the whiskers that we'll add last. Okay, we're going to erase our rainbow line. We're going to clean up our cat's face a little bit. And then we're going to go in with the fur. And we practiced the fur earlier. So I'm going to go ahead. And I'm just going to start with these little triangles that come down. And I'm going to clean up that line right there. And we could come and add a cute little hairdo. And after you add that, you can erase that line. And maybe those dots too that we used for the ear. Unless you want to give your cat earrings, I don't know. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the body. I might give him one more whisker right here. There we go. I think that looks better. And we're going to move down to the neck, and all of our zigzag lines are going to be facing down. ahead and do it on the other side. One side might be easier for you than the other, but that's why we're doing this. It'll make your hand stronger. And it's not easy to do things left-handed on the left side or the right side, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. And then once you do that, you're going to go ahead and erase that first line that we did for the bowling pin, because we don't need that line anymore. We can soften up that line. And we also need to add our fur here on our back hind legs, which is just that zigzag pattern we practiced. And he's a little mangy because he's an alley cat. And you can also add a few right here maybe if you want. And we're also going to give it some zigzags right here. Because we're going to leave the stomach white. We also have to do the tail. So you can kind of start anywhere. And I'm just going to start here, and it's going to go up, like towards the point of the tail. All the way around. And then I'm going to switch, and I'm going to start on that side. And you can erase that original line we had for the tail and just leave the one for the fur. That's called softening the line. That's when you go over it with an eraser. And our cat's tail is bald over here, so we need to fix that. Okay. And then we do the same thing where we just kind of erase you might want to erase here too. Now that we have all of that, you have a few options. What I think works the best is using a Sharpie to outline everything. Well, I guess we'll go for the background first. I'm sorry guys, we're still using our pencils. But we will get the Sharpie. I just want to do the background. And if you notice, in every single picture, except this one, there is brick walls. So we're going to do a brick wall. But we first need to have a horizon line. So we need a floor. So we need the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and give my cat a ground. And I'm going to start the brick wall right about here because I want you to see the street. Kind of like here where we have the brick wall and then we have a cool house. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a line that comes all the way to the top. And if you need to, bring it down here. So you're just making that line all the way down. So you have a horizon line, which is a horizontal line. And then we have that vertical line. And this vertical line is going to be our brick. And you're going to put your pencils down and you're just going to watch Miss C. And Miss C is going to show you how to do brick. Some of you might already know how, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do brick. So, you do a whole bunch of horizontal lines. And then there's a pattern you have to follow, or else your bricks won't look sturdy. And that pattern is, if you put a line here, making 2 bricks, then you have to put a line in between. So where would our next line go? It would go right here, making that into 2 bricks. And then you would put a line here, and a line here, and then you have 3. So it goes 2, 3, 2, 3. And you just follow that pattern all the way down. The pattern is basically a line, 2 lines, a line, 2 lines, and you can even do it like that. That also makes bricks. So that's what we're going to do behind our cat right here. So you can pick up your pencils, and we are going to go ahead and add some bricks. And I don't want my bricks too tiny, because then that's just way too many bricks to color in. So we're going to do pretty large bricks. If you notice, my line doesn't have to go all the way through my cat. And we're just going to kind of guess where everything goes, because our cat is in the way. And then we're going to add this little house after we do the brick, so I'll give you guys some time to do that. Okay, so we notice that this house is at an angle because we want to give the illusion of depth. Do you guys remember that word, illusion of depth? So we're not going to do a straight house like that. No, we're not doing a straight line. We are going to do a curved line, or a diagonal line, I'm sorry. We're doing a diagonal line like that, and then we're coming down. And then we're going to come and emphasize, kind of add to that diagonal line. And we're going to do a line right here, and a right line right here, because we're going to add windows. Kind of like an apartment complex or something. And your windows and doors are also kind of slanted. It's following that slanted line. And then I like to kind of just add a little bit of depth to my windows and my doors. That's going to be shaded in at some point when we get to our coloring in. Okay. And now we get to outline everything. I don't think we'll have enough time to show the technique with the crayons, so I think I'm going to do that first, just so let's have everyone watch me, because I think you guys can definitely outline on your own. So basically what you do is you grab an orange and a yellow and a red, And you're going to start with your darkest color, and you're just going to make stripes. And you're going to leave that white. And you do this everywhere on your cat, even the tail. Even the face. And some of the ear. And don't forget the legs. Okay, but we're leaving the toes and everything else fine. Once you're done with your red, you're going to come with your orange. And you do the same thing. I'm going to find a lighter orange. That one's too dark. It's too close to the original orange. And you're just going to add another layer of stripes. And I do leave a little bit of white in between because we're going to go over everything with the yellow after we add the orange. And it's okay to overlap the orange and the red together. I think that looks really nice. Now, what you do is you color the whole thing yellow. So you're going to go over the red and the orange, and you're just going to blend with that yellow because that yellow is going to make that red stand out. And it will give the fur more dimension. Don't be afraid to layer that crayon on top of the red and orange because you're going to blend that all together. Same with the face, you're going to go over the whole thing with yellow. This was not an easy direct draw, so I'm so proud of you guys keeping up with me and trying your hardest. Thanks for not giving up. Definitely go over the red because it makes it pop with the yellow. It enhances the depth of the fur when you layer crayon. Oh. And I think we should outline the cat now. I just wanted to make sure everyone could see how I layered the crayon, in case some of you guys have to log off, because we are kind of behind. But that's okay. So I am going to switch to Sharpie, then you guys can do the background. We have a thick Sharpie, but the way to make the Sharpie more thin is, like we taught when we were doing condensed skis, this is how you do thick lines, but if you want a thin line, you're going to hold it straight up and down, and you're going to get a far straighter and thinner line. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to outline with really thick Sharpie. We're going to outline with our thin, and that's the way we hold our Sharpie. And I'm going to start with the eyes. So if some of you are not done coloring in your cat, that's okay. I just wanted to show the technique of the stripes and then layering the yellow in case we ran out of time. So you basically highlight and circle your highlight because you don't want to color those in black. You want to keep that the white of the page. And then you outline your whole eye. And then you're just going to go ahead and color in. This is the only time you're going to use the side of your Sharpie because you have a lot more area to cover. So we don't have to color it in like this. We can color it onto the side. Yeah, I can email finished pictures of the cat. The video will be uploaded tonight too. And then we can go on to the nose, or we can go on to tracing out the cat. And this is when you're going to use the very tip of your marker, and you're going to hold it up and down as much as you can. I understand if you guys have to leave, but I hope you guys have a good Monday. I hope to see you guys soon next week. I'm just going to go ahead and add my whiskers. thank you for coming to the meeting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once you've outlined your cat, what Gigs would do was often use a dark blue and green. So he would outline, or I'm sorry, he would start with dark blue, so a line of dark blue, and then he would add a little bit of green to it, and then he would top it off with the light green at the very edges. Like that. And the way I like to do the brick is you outline the brick with the red, pretty dark, and then you color in lightly. And that gives it a little more dimension. I'll go ahead and send pictures to everyone's email. So I'll take a picture of all these cats and then I'll send them to you guys. Thank you so very much. I hope you guys have a good Monday, and I'll see you guys